Assalamualaikum to Dr. Mira and friends. My name is Yusuf and my friend Fahan. Fahan, kan? Fahan. Uh, Today we talk about the concerns of 5G mobile networking technology. Today's presentation will include the introduction for the 5G mobile, our findings on the surveillance, environmental impact, the security concerns, and the health issues, and also our discussion. First is what is 5G mobile networking technology? Uh, 5G mobile networking technology is the next generation of mobile broadband that will eventually replace or at least augment our 4G LTE connection. With this 5G, we'll see exponentially faster download and upload speeds. Latency or the time it takes device to communicate with wireless network will also drastically decrease. Our first finding is on the surveillance. That is the concerns over Chinese involvement. A report published by the European Commission and European Agency for Cybersecurity has spelled out that security issues surrounding 5G and how it will require a redesigning of current 3G and 4G networks. Central to the report thrust is the increasing use of software within 5G. As for network, virtualization and slicing, and how a lack of skills within telcos will see a reliance on suppliers. Mm, the increased role of software and services provided by third-party suppliers in 5G networks leads to a greater exposure to a number of vulnerabilities that may derive from the risk profile of individual suppliers. And the major security flaws, such as deriving from poor software development process within equipment suppliers to make it easier for actors to maliciously insert intentional backdoors into products and make them also harder to detect. This may increase the possibility of their exploitation, leading to a particular severe and widespread negative impact. Moving on to the environmental impact, the Com- the Federal Communications Commission tried to expedite the rollout of 5G wireless technology by cutting red tape. The US court has found the regulators erred in trying to exempt 5G cell sites from environmental impact and historic preservation reviews. The effort by US telecom regulators to speed the deployment of 5G wireless technology through deregulation has thus far largely survived a court challenge by environmental and tribal groups. In the ruling, the judge said such reviews are meant to assess the effects of new construction on, among other things, sites of religious and cultural importance to federally recognized Indian tribes. But at the same time, they held the FCC's order effectively reduced the role of those tribes in the decision-making process for new 5G cell sites. The judges did not address big swaths of the FCC regulation. For example, they declined to address the FCC move forcing sites to approve cell sites on expedite timeframes or requirements aimed at reducing the cost of permitting. But the panel dealt a blow to the FCC when it said the agency erred in trying to exempt 5G cell site from historical and environmental reviews. This decision confirmed that the FCC cannot just scream 5G to justify ignoring its duties to tribal nations and to the environment. Uh, then we move to the security concern. My friend will share. Oh, take off.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And to Dr. Munirah and my fellow friends. Okay, now I will be continuing to another subtopic which is security concern. So what are security greatest 5G security threat? First is in a paper titled A Formal Analysis of 5G Authentication. Researcher from ETH Zurich, the University of Lorraine, and the University of Dundee warned that 5G could usher in a new era of security threats. In a nutshell, they found that 5G presents new risks because, first, it is an immature and insufficiently tested set of technologies because 5G is a new technology. Second is it enables the movement and access of vastly higher quantity of data and thus broaden attack surface. And third, we will depend on it more than 4G for mission critical application. Next, with the rapid growth and change expected to come, we don't know very well whether the 5G will hurt us or not. Next is factor that favor the massive DDoS attack in 5G era. First is security specialists cannot afford to overlook the appeal that 5G has to be cyber criminal looking to make a hefty payday. Here are the factors that make it easy for them to launch disruptive DDoS attacks that put business at risk of complete shutdown. First is innovation outpaces the ability to secure it. There is a gap between adopting new tech and properly securing it becomes steeper, an issue that regains prominence as 5G and AI has become a business reality. Second is DDoS for hire is cheaper than ever before. The cybercrime economy makes service like DDoS for hire prevalent and easily accessible. Third is 5G bring hyperconnectivity and expand the attack surface. While 5G has tremendous potential for growth and innovation, it comes with a huge caveat, which is it connecting more devices faster inevitably lead to an influx of malicious. Okay, next topic is health. Okay, so 5G confirmed that it's safe by radiation watchdog, which is 5G is safe according to the international body in charge of setting limit on exposure to radiation, which has updated its advisory guideline for the first time in more than 20 years. The International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection that assess the health risk of radio broadcasts called for new guideline for millimeter wave 5G, the most high frequency version of the telecommunication standard. Dr. Eric Van Rongen, the ICNIRP chair, said that we know part of the community are concerned about the safety of 5G, and we hope the updated guidelines will help put people at ease. The guidelines have been developed after a thorough review of all relevant scientific literature, scientific workshop, and an extensive public consultation process. They provide protection against all scientifically substantiated adverse health effects due to the exposure in the 100 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz range. Next, 5G phones are to be subjected to tougher radiation limit. But the standard body behind the new rule said that there is no evidence that mobile network can cause cancer or other illness. It has spent several years reviewing scientific literature on the effects of exposure to electromagnetic field. It says the new guidelines will provide improved protection for forthcoming 5G technologies that use high frequency. The rule do not impose new limit on 5G masts, but rather concern the phone themselves. They impose what are described as more conservative limit on radiation from handset when they can connect to higher frequency 5G network. The benefit is that they can deliver very high speed, but only over short distance. The rules provide a slightly higher level of protection than the current guideline. The International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection, Chairman Dr. Eric Van Rongen told the BBC, It concluded that apart from some heating of human body tissue, there was no evidence of harm. We also considered all the other types of effect, for instance, where the radio wave could lead to the development of cancer in human body, said Mr. Van Rongen. So, scientists has one of potential serious health effect of 5G. 5G leads to a massive increase of mandatory exposure to wireless radiation. 5G technology is effective only over a short distance, and it is poorly transmitted through solid material. Many new antennas will be require a full-scale implementation, will result in antennas every 10 to 12 houses in urban area, thus massively increasing mandatory exposure. So there is harmful effect of RF EMF exposure, and it's already proven. Over 220 to 30 scientists from more than 40 countries have expressed their serious concern regarding the increasing exposure to EMF generated by electric and wireless devices already before the additional 5G rollouts. They refer to the fact that numerous recent scientific publications have shown that EMF affect living organisms at level well below most international and national guidelines. Effects include increased cancer risk, cellular stress, increase in harmful free radical, genetic damage, structural and functional change of the reproductive system, learning and memory deficit, neurological disorder, and negative impact on general well-being in humans. The damage goes well beyond the human race, as there is growing evidence of harmful effects to both plant and animal. So the precaution principle by UNESCO was adopted by EU 2005 when human activity may lead to morally unacceptable harm that is scientifically plausible but uncertain. Action shall be taken to avoid or diminish that harm. Safety guideline, which is to protect industry, that is not held. The current ICNIRP safety guidelines are obsolete. All proof of harm mentioned above arise, although the radiation is below the ICNIRP safety guideline. Therefore, new safety standards are necessary. The reason for the misleading guideline is that conflict of interest of ICNIRP members due to their relationship with telecommunication or electric companies undermine the impartiality that should govern the regulation of public exposure standard for non-ionizing radiation. To evaluate cancer risk, it is necessary to include scientists with competence in medicine, especially from oncology. So, for the discussion, for surveillance, we can conclude that 5G network will bring a whole new array of opportunity to the security, but we cannot deny that it is clear that 5G will also bring new level of invasive, which is to our basic and our main activity in daily life. Next is for environmental impact. Environmental impact of 5G is still being studied. And while there have been several theories, hopes, and controversies, it is still unclear if there is a long-term environmental impact of 5G deployment. That is for security concern. Widespread of adoption of network virtualization means that less specialized hardware is deployed in carrier network. So it is possible that malicious sector could gain visibility and control over 5G network through a single point of entry. And for health, there is evidence about the biological properties of RF EMF, which is from 5G. We can easily expose to this RF EMF, and they are progressively accumulating, clearly point to the existence of multi-level interaction between high-frequency EMF and our biological systems. Okay, so that's all from our group, Council over 5G Mobile Networking Technology. With that, thank you.